This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the world-renowned writer and mob expert, the one and only Nick Christophers. Hello, Nick. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Nick, so nice to finally meet you. You are unbelievable. I want to know first and foremost, when did your obsession with the mob begin?
That's a good question. What am I obsession? Well, I'm going to go way back, probably when I was around 12. Okay. At first, what triggered all that interest really was my own life experiences. So when I was growing up, I was bullied in school. I was beat up every day. And that was in elementary school. And then when I got into junior high school, I joined the gang. And when I got into the gang, of course, I picked fights with everybody that picked on me. So, I was suspended a few times. That's what kind of started that, getting involved in that kind of world thing.
Yeah. Well,
and at the same time, two things that kind of, one for my writing, second from my interest in hanging out with the wise guys. First was in school, we had to read a book. It was called The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, which is a great book.
Great book.
Yeah. And that book, I felt connected to it because the character, Pony Boy, and even Johnny, kind of reminded of me, where, you're getting bullied and you have to fight back, kind of a thing. And exactly what I was going through, pretty much. And they were in a gang, so was I. And that's where, and then I started writing about what I experienced, kind of a thing.
Well, speaking of your writing, my friend, you have so many amazing books that people can get with the links right below. Obviously, you have Destinies being just one of them, but I want to deep dive into, first and foremost, Mob Candy. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, Mob Candy was a magazine that was around many years ago. I got involved as the editor after its second year of being around. And, Mob Candy it's not around anymore, but that magazine was, it was about mob politics, basically. It talked about the mob and not about anything that was going on really at the present. It was more about historical. So it was all historical stuff. Stories about guys, what they did in the past, movies that are out. We did spotlight interviews, which I did, on actors that are in that were depicted in that. And sometimes I interviewed the actual wise guys themselves. So it was an interesting magazine. I was there for 7 years as the editor. And, like I said, it's not around anymore, but it was a fun experience.
Well, and here you are. You then penned 2 novels, correct? With Destinies Volumes 1 and 2?
No, I have 4 books out.
Well, you have Destinies, and then you also have Prison Rules. And what else do you have out there?
It's called, the other one is called Mafia Ties, the Greek Syndicates, which is about the Greek mob and how because I'm Greek. So I wrote about my own kind, how the Greeks were involved with the Italians, the Irish, the Albanians. So that was my 3rd book, actually.
Oh my gosh. Well, talk a little bit about the impetus behind Prison Rules, which you actually worked with ex-mobster John, is it Alite?
No, it's Elite.
I'm such a bad Italian.
Well, John Alite is not even Italian, he's Albanian.
God, well, I'm a double whammy right then and there, Nick. Talk to me a little bit about the impetus behind the idea of writing Prison Rules and what it was like working with John Alite.
Well, the Prison Rules was John's idea. Now, me and John, we became friends through mutual guys that we grew up with, guys he knew on the street, guys I knew on the street. So we had a connection already because we knew a lot of the same people growing up. And then John came up with this idea of writing about how to survive in prison, but it was based on educating the young people to stay away from the street life, to get, to have a better life. So that's how me and John started writing it. And the book is like a how to survive in prison. From the time that you're arrested, to the time that you get out. Well, you hope you get out, kind of a thing. And since John has spent 16 years in prison, he knows a lot about it. And me being pinched when I was a kid, I was a little bit familiar with it too. So it was a, you know, it was a good marriage, and we did a good job on the book, I believe. And that book sells more than any other books I have, believe it
Now,
or
and
not.
speaking of the book that you wrote yourself, my friend, Destinies, talk to me about how the character of Nina Larizzo came about for you. Did you base her on anyone in your life, or was she an amalgamation of different women in your life?
That's a good, quick question. Nina was just I just thought, because I know pretty much when it comes to reading books, women are read more books than men. It's just a fact. They're bigger readers. So I thought, what's going to catch the readers out there, especially women? Oh, a main character that's a woman. So that's what made me thought of bringing a woman character in the forefront, where it's going to interest other people. The characters in the book, like Santo, who becomes her husband later on, are based on guys I met growing up. So some of the things that happen in the book are actually true. That might have happened to me, but because I don't say my name, obviously. So yeah, it's, you know.
Well, look at what's the old adage, write what you know. And I love the fact that you've been able to take this passion that you've had since you were 12 years old and to parlay it through your creative talent, Nick. And I'm curious to know, final question for you is, you know, as we look forward into 2022, have you used these last 2 years in quarantine to continue to write and create? And if so, what can we expect next from Nick Christophers?
Well, Destinies Volume 2, No Honor Among Thieves, I wrote during the pandemic because my office was closed. So what did I do? So all that time I spent 3 months, I finished the second part 2. That's what I used it for.
I love it.
So that came out last year, actually, part 2.
Yep.
In reference to working on something different, I have a few projects that are on the table right now. Got 2 other books that I was hired to do. One is about a Chicago mob guy and his connection with the politics in Chicago. Another one's about a neighborhood Brooklyn girl and her redemption as a young girl growing up. Nothing to do with the mob at all. And then with Destinies, I've been in the process for the past, I would say 8 months, maybe more, on pre-production on a film based on the book.
That's amazing, my friend. Congratulations. Well, listen, I want to let our audience know, for more on the amazing Nick Christophers, you can read more about him right below this video. And I'm so excited, Nick, for all that you have going on. Cannot wait for this pre-production to become in production, and we can all know what's going to come of it. But also at the same time, Nick, I'm excited you're joining this new platform, this exciting new artistic social media platform, FENIX360. And also I'm happy that we're now connected, my fellow New Yorker.
Yeah, really.